Irene, Christ, you want to see Argyle Sate in Glasgow? Makes you sick. I was seeing that in Aberdeen in 2001. I was disgusted when I first went to that Scotland, to be honest with you, mate. Honest to God, I'm not lying to you. Scotland gives you that eye open. It doesn't matter where you're from. You go to Scotland, your eyes are going to be opened. Let's tell you that for nothing, mate. First time I went to Scotland, I travelled up there with our Danny, a kid called Mossop, a kid called Meat, a kid called Binjai, and a kid called Pancake. And we all went up to an estate in Aberdeen. They'd already been up there for a few months. They used to have this kid up there called Fingers, Sutton Lynch. He used to graft for Pancake and people like that years ago up in Aberdeen. So I've gone up there with this little bunch of lads to see what's going on, and as you do when you're grafting. You know what I'm saying to you. So I go up there, we're having a little mooch, and what you call cuckooing now, it wasn't called cuckooing back then, but it was cuckooing. Alright, so we went up there. They had this Geordie, Sean the Geordie his name was, and he was living in Aberdeen, and he's had this flat. And that flat would be the place to go. And when you went to that flat, right facing the flat, it was a housing estate, you know, a council housing estate. There's flats all over, and that's where basically the customers are. So you're on this side of the street, and everyone else around you are customers. I'm not lying to you. This is what made me sick. We've went to this punter's who's meant to be one, like, what they'll do, this is normally what they do when they get up to gaffs like this. They'll get up there with the parcel, they'll go and see A, B, C, D, E, F, G, get dough off them and split the parcel against them. But the majority of them people are addicts. That's what it used to be like in Scotland. You'd had addicts from Scotland dealing. So we've gone into this woman's, and she's got kids in this. And I'm walking into this gaff expecting it to be like what you'd expect when you've seen what you've seen. Run down. But it's not. It's decent. Everyone's functioning right. Everything seems to be working okay for them. You can tell the mum's addicted. You can tell whatever's whatever. But what shocked me was this. In Liverpool, kids my age or kids just under my age were starting off smoking spliffs. So they'd make a spliff, get stoned 14, 15, 13. That's what it was like back then. Nothing's changed. You know, we were 13 smoking 20 years ago. So all these kids that think they're special now, you're just in a long line of victims like us. You're nothing new, you're nothing special, you're going to end up in the same gaffs we all went to. But I've gone in there and this girl in front of her mother is putting heroin in a rollie. So the way in the city of Liverpool the kids are smoking, in Aberdeen they're smoking heroin in rollies with rolling tobacco, smoking it. I was just like, wow, get me out of here now. You got everyone else just sitting there inhaling and man, get me out of here. But that's truth, and that's fact. And the people that started that flow off, the people that started that destruction, weren't Scottish. They were English. They weren't even English. They were Scousers. And they've been there since. Nothing's changed in 30 years. There was kids going from Liverpool to Scotland 20 years before I even stepped into the game. That date there, the 1970s, I was going to Scotland as a 14-year-old kid with the hardest men in Liverpool while they were dropping parcels off in Scotland. And we used to go fishing as if that was we're going fishing, when in reality you're dropping a parcel off once a month, massive. It was shite. It's still shite that goes up there now. It's all shite. But when it comes to purity and all that, they must be getting swag, what's like 40%. I'm buzzing with it. And when they get a 10 out of 10, they OD. Anyway, let's move on. Tony Graham, do you remember Val who used to shop gear near Anfield? Of course I do, mate. Val, that was another house where Val the addict has just been trained. Trained by kids out of Graft. It's a sick world, isn't it? It is a proper sad fact. It's a proper sad fact, mate. Good shout, Dust Debbie. Yes, the Buki. How are you, lad? Hope you're all well, mate. Is it the Bucky or the Buki? Oh, it's both thing, isn't it? Depending on where you're from. Like, I'll call a book a book. You call a book, won't you? And you know what's always puzzled me? Why they spell words different when they're pronounced exactly the same. Morning, Chloe, mate. Callum. And I worked out it was because of the meaning. Yeah, Snake, Leanne. Nice one, Tomo. Darren, you're still in last year, you lad, asking people whether they've been when I had the jab or not. That's last year conspiracy. Are you trying to bring it back in? Bucky is Buckfast, bro. Oh, like Buckfast drink in Scotland. Buckfast, lad, where the f*** that come from? Have you seen the damage that's doing to the youth in Scotland, that Buckfast people? Honest to God. It's like White Lightning in the 90s. Then when all the birds just got and turned into alcoholics off the White Lightning. That's what Buckfast is. But the effects are faster. Do Scousers like you spell different then? Says secret guest. We all spell different. Some of us are dyslexic, some of us never had school. Some of us write the way it comes out of our mouth, like I did for years. I used to write the way I spoke. That's how I started learning to read and write, really. Writing how you speak.